Welcome, I'm Deb Shepard. I'm your host of Spirited Straight Talk. Thank you for joining me on this amazing spiritual journey that we call life. You're in the right place and you didn't land here by accident. My intention is to help you learn to free yourself of things that are holding you back and create a life that truly makes your soul happy. I'll be talking about key insights and interesting topics to help you learn how to powerfully co-create with the universe. I will cover everything from turning your setbacks into triumphs, and my favorite, living your soul's purpose. Of course, I'll be connecting you with spirit, your guides, and the favorite one, of course, is your loved ones on the other side. If you're ready to truly stop spinning circles, and you're ready to harness the power to co-create an authentic life with spirit, then I hope you join me every week for Spirited Straight Talk. Deb Shepard with Dana at Spirited Straight Talk. We're so glad to be here. We are talking about how to boost your love connection.
Your happiness hormones.
Your happiness hormone. And, you know, I think everyone desires to be loved. And I think the biggest thing is finding that self-love. But what we want to talk about today is how to bring in science and energy to change our lives, to bring more happiness and to attract what we desire in our life. And I was thinking about this because when I was growing up, which is at least 100 years ago.
Do I say it now?
Yeah. Dork. When we didn't have any light bulbs, we had candles. No, just kidding. We spoke differently to each other. We sat around the table talking about, school or chores and things like that. We went to church, but we didn't talk about manifesting or energy or how to create a life that you desire. That wasn't the language that we talked about then. And
nor
now,
did you talk about hormones.
We didn't talk about absolutely no hormones. Absolutely not. I was giving a Christian magazine about sex, so that tells you the hormones were not part of the topic.
I don't ever recall a conversation about any of this, ever.
No, it was like taboo or something. Yeah. I don't know, or no one had the tools to talk about it.
Right.
And now it's so different today. I mean, we can do research and we're more open about things. And I think people have changed over time. They've moved around away from family, maybe. Their communities are different and they've had different experiences.
I think as a community or as communities and the world, we've evolved a little bit.
A little bit. Okay,
a little bit.
We have a ways to go.
But minds are more open to talking about energy and woo-woo stuff.
Woo, yeah. Woo. It's going to be mainstream. So when we look at our limiting beliefs, it's, we think sometimes, well, this is how it has to be. And we bring a lot of guilt or shame into changing our beliefs or looking at ourselves differently. And so what I want to talk about today, or what we need to talk about, is how do we bring love into our life and bring in that different energy. And this is the month of February, so it is Valentine's, and we see hearts everywhere and things like that. And we can either feel like really happy about celebrating, or we can feel, oh, I'm just so lonely, I feel unloved and judged. So we're going to bring in not only the law of attraction or energy and things to manifest, but also we want to bring in the science part of this, because when you're new to this, or you're just trying to figure out how this stuff works, we're also a human body, which is all energy as well. So you're more the brainiac.
I wouldn't say that. But I do like to read about this kind of stuff, like the scientific stuff, and I'm drawn to learning the whys behind the things that we may know already. Right. I want to know why. So
I think it's great to bring in both ideas of energy and science, because then we have something more to play with. And
energy is scientific.
Yeah, it is, which I love.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
cool. You're going to share some of the 4 great ingredients to help our bodies.
Feel happier, feel more joy. You can elicit these feelings in yourself so you understand what they are. So as you manifest them, you know what you're feeling and why. But there are 4 main happiness hormones that you work with in your body.
I think that's a Disney movie. 4 happy hormones.
Happy hormones. The happy hormones. So it's dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, and oxytocin. And I know for me, like I used to run a lot. When I was younger, especially as I was working through trauma, I would go run because the endorphins would kick in after about 20, 30 minutes of running, and I would feel that natural happiness high.
I never got that far, so I never experienced it when people talk about that.
Somehow, I don't doubt that.
I'll find it in other ways, but yes, I hear the
So
runner's high.
exercise, the runner's high, or, exercising for a certain amount of time, your body just kicks those in, so you feel that natural happiness.
Absolutely.
Which is really cool. So you can, I don't want to say fake it till you make it, but almost you can.
Absolutely.
You can know what to do to have these hormones kick in so that you feel lighter and more joyful and happier.
It's like shaking off all the energy you collect. It's like taking a great shower.
Yeah.
Where you have all this collected energy, and when you exercise, both of us feel so much better. And you just feel lighter. You feel like your brain is working more clearly, and you have more energy, because energy creates more energy.
Right.
Yeah.
So each one of these hormones, you can do specific things to basically allow your body to kick in.
Activate it all.
And activate it, yeah. Dopamine is the pleasure and satisfaction
We like that
hormone.
Ooh, tell me more.
Right. So to get a good lift in dopamine and to feel like that higher pleasure, good night's sleep, so get a good routine in, and then also there's some foods that you can eat that help with that. Exercise for sure, but seeds, nuts, beans, lentils, meats, fish, dairy and cheeses if you eat dairy and cheeses, and then increase your magnesium intake and limit your caffeine. So they're saying that all of these things can help elicit your body to release the
And those are
dopamine.
easy things. I mean, you can have nuts around, things like that are just easy to access.
I'd like to boost my dopamine today. I have a little bit of a headache today. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
The next one is serotonin. And low serotonin is depression. You get seasonal depression. So you can boost your serotonin by getting sunlight and eating foods rich in tryptophan, which is turkey. Or taking a supplement, I don't know, but eating foods that are rich in L-tryptophan.
And you would not think that turkey that makes us all sleep would really boost us, but it isn't. And for me, I have low serotonin levels, so I'm always working on that, and I've taken prescriptions to help that as well.
Yeah. So you can help your brain produce more serotonin. Also, tuna, chicken, and, of course, exercise again. So exercise is very important to make your body release
and
these.
I think the point here too is if you're not a person that exercises, don't feel guilty, but just start off by, even throughout the day, walking around your office or home or wherever, so that you can start bringing that energy in. So again, we're not trying to guilt people into exercising, but it will make you feel better, even if you start off with 15 minutes every other day or something like that. So start out slow.
And then my favorite, endorphins, which I figured that out at a young age. I know that if you run, you get this, you just feel so good. So you can raise that by 30 minutes of exercise, like we talked about, moderate intensity for maximum euphoria.
Maximum euphoria.
So you can basically make yourself feel that high. But also, you can do it with meditation, meditating 30 minutes, center yourself. But you can raise your endorphin level by meditating. So that's perfect for you. You don't have to run.
Or do both. Yeah, you know how I love laughter.
Laughter, which,
that's my go-to.
You talk about laughter.
All the time, yeah. And you do put up with my dad jokes all the time, but it makes me feel better.
But you bring movies in.
Yes.
You tell people to watch comedy because that all makes you feel good and it raises your vibration.
Especially if you're grieving. I don't care what you're grieving, a loss of a change of something, but laughter does give you the opportunity for your soul and your mind to get a break, so you can have other ways to live your life. So it's incredibly important.
And then another thing is chocolate.
Well, who doesn't love that?
Chocolate can help you release endorphins, which that's one of my favorites. But also, surprisingly, I didn't know this, spicy foods, peppers, green chilies, boost endorphins. That's probably why I love it. Like I'll chop up green chili and just put it on a tortilla with nothing else on it.
Yes.
I didn't know I was releasing endorphins.
Well, I think our bodies naturally know, we have some go-tos already that give us that comfort. You know, we feel that comfort and we feel good. And so that's something that you were raised with. And so it's a go-to and you feel better. So
guess what else?
What?
Sex.
Oh, well, yeah.
Endorphins.
So orgasms, you're saying.
Well, on to the next one.
This is still rated PG-13, so okay.
Yes. And then also, the last one is oxytocin, which they say this is like the mother-child bonding hormone. So your body releases oxytocin when you have a baby to help you bond with your baby when
Which is
it's
what they
born.
do so differently. Now they let you hold the baby on your chest before they even clean the baby up. When I had children, they just ripped them away, you know. You didn't have that opportunity. So I think they've realized that this hormone is so important for that bonding.
But they call this one the love hormone. But I guess it's really the most complicated out of all the four.
Of course it is.
But recognizing this and actually taking action to raise your oxytocin level can help you. So cuddling, hugging, petting your dog, watching a movie about love, that can help.
Romantic comedy, you know me.
So they've done some tests, I guess, 30-minute clips of emotional movie scenes, having people watch it. So 30 minutes of that raised their oxytocin level by 47%.
Wow.
So you can actually do these things. And this one is the orgasm one that raises your oxytocin level. How many times can we bring in exercise and sex?
So you're telling me then they're not watching porn, right?
Oh, God forbid. Can we edit that out?
So it's the romantic, all that love feeling, which is such a great feeling for all of us to feel those things.
Right, which, of course, these are just tips. This is such an expansive topic, and we're not scientists. We don't know that much about it. But in our research, diet, exercise, sleep, healthy sex life seem to indicate that it can help you raise all these levels of hormones so that you have that feeling of happiness. You're eliciting that within your body.
And when that happens, that's when you have the law of attraction. So the whole point of bringing up these hormones is that when you feel good and you feel, that almost self-love and that energy that we have, it brings through to the rest of the world that we want and desire these things. So when you don't bring up these hormones and you're depleted on them, you're going to see your life not be as happy. And that's why we wanted to bring a science part into this. And then I'm also going to give you tools of how to bring in just the normal manifesting kind of things. So you realize that you have the ability to make love happen, I guess. And this isn't just about an intimate relationship, even though we're talking a lot about intimacy here. It's also the love of your career, the love of your life, the love where you are. And to bring in people that are equally like-minded.
And friends.
And
soul sisters, we talk about.
Yeah. So one of the things to go back to, because if you're in a place where you're sort of sad and you're grieving, it's hard to go, how do I think of something good? And that's where people ask me, like, I'm angry or I'm sad or I'm, this kind of thing. How do I change that mindset? And we talk about the movies and the chocolate and the exercising, but also go back to when was a favorite movie or a favorite birthday or your favorite food, thinking about things that are very simplistic, your favorite car. And I've told you about when I was 19 or 18, I bought a black Camaro, which I thought was so cool, and it changes that energy. When I see one, sometimes I go, oh, I remember that. It kind of brings up, I guess, those endorphins,
happiness hormones.
Yeah. So it's taking a photo album maybe and going through and reminiscing about some of the good times in your life. Of course, if there's some negative ones, you probably don't want to look at that, but bring those kind of photos together. Make calls to someone you haven't talked to in a while. And I think bringing back some good memories and good times. And sometimes it's interesting when you reach out to somebody, they're thinking, I really needed to hear this today. And that makes you feel better that you made someone else's day better. And that includes, paying forward. So doing something out of kindness. it does help you feel better about yourself. And when you look at people maybe that have a harder journey right now, it makes you feel like you're more in gratitude of what you do have. So those things are really great. Maybe send out cards once in a while to people. Written ones, not ones online, because I will do that sometimes. But, send a card to somebody. Maybe send a card to yourself with a gift card. Who knows? The other thing is you're a great cook. And you bring in your family recipes, like you were talking about the chilies and stuff. You always talk about what your grandma did, and your grandma did that. And then I'll tell you, maybe how I've had food growing up and things like that. And those bring us back to some really great memories, even if we miss them, that they're no longer in our physical life, that they're talked about. And I believe totally when we talk about them, they're showing up. Because they're remembering too, like how this is done. One thing I've always asked people to do, and you've seen this, is to talk about how much they love themselves or what they like about themselves. And this is difficult for people. And I know I wrote 100 things I love about you. But this is about, sometimes we are so judgmental on ourselves that we do that trash talk in our mind where I could have done this, I should have done that, I have to get this done. And our to-do list is so tight that we don't give ourselves time to really enjoy the chocolate or enjoy the movie or get the exercise in, which then is defeating the purpose of us trying to raise our energy vibration. But when you start thinking about the good things that you are, it's surprising that people don't see those things as good qualities. And I think, geez, if you stop at every stop sign, you remember people's birthdays, you pay your bills on time, I don't care what it is.
You like your hair.
You like your hair.
Like your eyebrows.
Yeah.
Whatever
it is,
yes.
Yeah. Is to really see that as value. And when you start doing that, you're telling the universe and the people in your world, that's how you want to be treated. So if you're mean to yourself, you're going to attract people in your life that are going to do that to you because that's the energy you're putting out. So by working with the science and changing that feeling and also having a little bit of that self-love, and I think self-love is talked about a lot, but people really don't do it. And I find that in my teaching. People it's almost like I have to give them assignments to begin to do the self-love.
Yeah.
And we all know it's out there. We see magazines and books and everything out there, but we still don't put it as a priority.
Right.
And we do that with each other. We're always kind to each other most of the time.
Yeah.
We are.
We're the model relationship.
Yeah, we are. And the more you bring that love into your life, you're going to actually see it where people are going to be kinder to you. And when you set up, boundaries and you set up expectations of what you want in your life, it does show up. Because if you are not putting those things out there, then you're going to get whatever people want to throw up on you. And that's, what we don't want to do.
I think people have trouble setting boundaries or knowing how to set boundaries. So you teach that a lot in your classes, and I think we did a podcast on it too, but boundaries are, there's step number one to showing what you expect.
Yeah, it's like saying no. And we've really had to learn that because we have so many people that are in pain and want to hear something and get help, and there's only so much we can do. And I think it's letting people know sometimes your no is showing a value. It doesn't mean you're not going to help people. It just means sometimes you're going to understand how you use your time. And that's really important and critical to do as well. So what we want to talk about a little bit is how to really work even on a relationship. So if you're in a relationship, even if it's a child or a good friend or an intimate relationship, is sometimes that they get a little bit boring. Don't you think you forget to add energy to them? And you and I try to always change that. Let's do something that brings in, because we work
different
together.
Energy.
Yeah, different energy. One of the things that we do is we have an app called Get Gabbin', and it's open-ended questions, and it's a great way to have discussions that are not just the same old thing and boring. So bring in some things that are more helpful, romantic. Just remember why you fell in love and try to make those memories show up again.
Or if we get into a rut where we're watching our shows at night, then we change it up and do a puzzle or play a game or even just simple things like that.
Yeah. It's just, you do. I mean, humans go into what's comfortable, even if it's not healthy. And we just go into that comfort level. And I know for us, it's harder when it's wintertime because it gets dark earlier. So we're less motivated when it's dark. So having those reminders. So You want to do a wrap up here? What people need to remember?
Sure.
Sure. Make time for you. Yeah. Did you have some things to share?
I was just going to say, just to recap.
Yeah, please.
Specific things you can do for the scientific part, the hormone part.
Please.
The 4
hormones:
dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, and oxytocin. So with dopamine, sleep, exercise, eat nuts and seeds. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
Serotonin, get lots of sunlight if you can, and eat foods rich in tryptophan. So turkey, chicken, tuna, those types of things can increase your serotonin. Endorphins, moderate intensity exercise, meditation, laughter, chocolate.
I love all those.
Oxytocin, have an orgasm, watch an emotional movie, or give and receive hugs.
Yeah.
And then all 4 of them, exercise.
Yeah. And you know what has really been difficult through the pandemic is not being able to have touch.
We are touch starved.
Yeah, we are.
A lot of people are.
And I did a talk last night with a group, and you want to hug people because they've had severe losses. And with the whole thing, it's like I'm giving you an air hug, but we do need that touching, and so
an elbow bump doesn't really do it when you need that, and you need that hormone to kick in. Yeah.
And we see like our grandkids, they just can't wait to hug. Mm-hmm. And the hug is, I also think about like when the babies are crying or something, you hug them and all of a sudden they feel your love, and they start to change their energy.
Yeah.
So that's why it is really vital to have that human touch and an animal touch or whatever works for you.
So I wonder, I just have a question for me.
Okay.
Because, I like to hug. I don't want to say I like to hug, but I'm not super touchy-feely. Like, you don't experience that, but with other people, they don't know whether to approach me or not, and I can feel it, and I don't want them to. I don't always want to hug, but if I initiate the hug,
you feel okay.
Then I'm okay with it. But so, since hugging releases oxytocin, I wonder why I kind of put up that boundary where I don't want, I'm not super huggy. Isn't that interesting?
Well, I think there's sometimes people's energy. I don't think it's just hugging. Mm-hmm. I think there's certain people that you may not want to have that connection with.
I don't want their energy in my energy field.
Yeah. And you may want to cross your arms with that kind of a situation, turn to your side a little bit. But, I think with the pandemic, people are just not as open of hugging. It's going to take a while to get back into that mind frame. Yeah. And so maybe with time, it'll feel like more natural. And now that you have grandbabies that you love to hug.
Oh, yeah. I hug up on them all the time. Yeah.
So it could be just with the situation and feeling safe.
I just thought that was interesting, like conflict.
It is.
And I know there's others out there that probably
don't want to touch
feel
you.
that. Mm-hmm.
And I think it has to feel that sense of comfort. You didn't have an easy childhood. Mm-hmm. And so part of that is, are you feeling safe? And I think for you, it's probably building trust with the individual because you hug our kids.
I wonder if it works if I hug myself.
It couldn't hurt. Absolutely. Well, for some reason I'm getting off topic here, but do you remember the young woman? She's actually she's on the spectrum, and she is a professor and talked about the cows getting
Temple
hugged.
Grandin.
Temple Grandin, how the animals like to be, the cows like to be hugged in that machine.
They like pressure.
They like pressure. And we think about when babies are born, we swaddle them in a really tight burritos, right?
Yeah.
So there has to be that kind of endorphin or something that is setting off for us to feel safe. And I think if you're not feeling safe, opening up your heart to everybody that comes up may not feel like it's a place of trust yet. So I don't know how I got on cows.
But it's just interesting because you will
hug everybody,
and you just have a heart connection with everyone you touch. And it's not that I don't care about everybody that I see or touch. It's,
But I also think it's okay to have some boundaries. If you're not feeling good about it and someone hugs you where you're not feeling
I think it's a space thing,
but also
letting
that's
people
not
in my
going to help
space.
You with your endorphins or your hormones if you're going against what you feel.
Right. So I guess the point is everyone is different.
Yeah.
So you do what feels comfortable for you.
Yeah.
If you want to just run to release all these.
Go run. So on the spiritual side or the manifesting is, again, like I said earlier, make time for yourself. And that's the biggest thing, I think, is just to make that quality time.
And I think acting as if.
Yeah. Practice till you make it, or no.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. List what you love about yourself. And this is important, and this is hard for people to do, but it will change your energy about yourself and what you expect in life. Celebrate your past by bringing it forward. I think we've all had happy times in our life. And when I work with people, I hear what didn't work, what was really sad. And they bring that up, and it's still kind of in their basket of emotions. And so if you can bring in the happy times, that to me can change where you're feeling. And remember, you can bring in some joy and happiness to your life. 4, which you just said, exercise, good sleep, sunshine, and sex. Good sex. We talked about watching humor, hang out with rom-coms. I didn't know what that was until...
Watch a Jennifer Lopez rom-com.
Yeah. Anything like that. Under the Tuscan Sun is one of my favorites.
Hitch.
I think the other thing is hanging out with fun people. You and I are very particular, too, about making sure that we bring in positive people when we are in our social time. And I think there's...
Well, we have little of it.
But then when we do, it's like, okay... We don't want to be working. We want to really have those fun relationships that everyone feels like when they walk away, that was a great time.
Yeah.
And that's what you're looking for too. And then pay it forward. I think doing things for other people, even when you don't let people know, is even better to do something. I know one of my students...
Do something in secret and just watch their joy.
Oh, not even watch.
I wish I could be a fly on the wall though, when we do something kind,
where someone can see. But that's what we want the joy out of it.
Yeah.
One of my students picked out people in the phone book, which we don't have anymore, and just sent them cards of, have a great day today or something. And I think that's
cool.
Yeah, I think when you just kind of, it makes you feel like you're making someone else's day better that you don't even know. And the more we do that, that collective energy expands. So use your imagination. Do something that makes you feel, that brings light to someone else's life. And that is always going to help your energy and all your hormones and everything.
It helps raise the vibration of everybody in the world.
Yeah, because I think there's so much pain and negativity, and, social media can be so harsh, and we watch the news. So having something that is... Wow, that was so... I wonder who did this for me. It makes you feel good, like you touched someone's life. So, send all the cards.
It's like the guy that was having a really bad day and was yelling at me from behind us in a drive-through line.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and clearly he just was an angry person. And so we paid for his lunch and told the girl, gave her a huge tip, but told her... Tell him we hope he has a better day.
And you wonder what, like you said, the fly on the wall at that point. You wonder if he just kind of went, okay, wow.
Wow, I'm a jerk.
Yeah, because he was. And too, people have bad days, and we all do, but I think the bottom line is you have tools now to bring up your energy. You can manifest, and these are things that are really easy and manageable.
Yeah.
So we're going to wish everyone lots of love.
Thank you so much for listening to the show. Each Monday is a new episode of Spirited Straight Talk. Make sure you hit follow so you don't miss any of the guidance or bonus episodes. Your experience at the show means a lot to us, and we would love for you to leave a review or let us know about more topics you would like Deb to explore. You can also follow Deb on social media and connect with her website at debshepard.com. That's DEBSHEPPARD.com. If you want to join Deb on one of the shows or have a reading from her on the show, you can submit a request on the podcast page of her website. Thank you again, and see you next week.